West Ham United have only had 17 managers in their history, a surprisingly low amount. And one of the reasons for this is the longevity of Syd King. King, who played for the Hammers as a fullback, was appointed as secretary manager in 1902. It was a role he would hold for nearly 30 years, and he remains a huge figure in the early history of the Hammers. This is a story of Syd King, the man who made West Ham. Syd King was born in Chatham on the 1st of August 1873. He would play for the likes of Northfleet and New Brompton before joining Thames Ironworks in 1899. Thames Ironworks would soon rebrand as West Ham United, with King mounting a reputation as one of the best fullbacks in the country. Towards the end of the 1901-1902 season, King was appointed club secretary manager of West Ham, as he was seen as the right man to lead the players due to his grammar school education. He would continue playing for a brief period, before injuries would bring an end to his time on the pitch. His managerial reign, however, did not start well. The club was struggling financially in the Southern League due to poor attendances, and could only afford to pay the wages of one professional player. They also had to find a new ground, a task King took upon himself. He found a spot called Berlin Castle Field, a spot of land owned by Catholic authorities. West Ham agreed a deal to rent the land, but the Home Office did not want the Hammers using the ground. King would meet with Sir Ernest Grey, an influential member of Parliament, and afterwards West Ham were granted use of the land. West Ham would have to sell a number of players to aid their financial crisis, but soon rebuilt the side, bringing in the likes of Jack Simmons, Frank Piercy, Jack Fletcher and David Gardner. They climbed to 10th place in the league and also gained a reputation as a club who developed young players that would go on to have great careers, such as George Hilston, who later transferred to Chelsea and netted 26 goals in his first season, as well as turning out for England. King would continue to rely on bringing players through the ranks for many years to come. As King continued to build the side, West Ham were on the up. They finished in 5th place in 1907, and after the conclusion of World War I, they were elected to the 2nd Division of the Football League. A crowd of 20,000 attended their first game in the 2nd tier, and the club would finish in 7th place, then 5th place over the next couple of seasons. The 22-23 season started poorly for King's side. Striker Sid Pudderfoot was sold to Falkirk for £5,000, which caused outrage amongst the West Ham faithful. With the Hammers languishing in 18th place, any chance of promotion seemed dead in the water. However, their form soon turned around, and a series of wins saw them fly up the table. Promotion was in sight, as well as a cup final. West Ham reached the semi-finals of the FA Cup, where they faced a heavily fancied derby at Stamford Bridge. However, the Hammers rallied to win 5-2 and booked their place at the FA Cup final, where they would face Bolton. This FA Cup final would be the first to be held at the new Empire Stadium, which would later be known as Wembley. The FA grossly underestimated the amount of supporters that would want to attend, and they allowed spectators to buy their tickets at the door. However, around 300,000 spectators turned up to watch, whilst the stadium had a capacity of 125,000. The game was delayed by almost an hour, until a number of police officers on horseback escorted supporters away from the pitch. The final finally got underway, but sadly there was no fairy tale ending for West Ham. Bolton would win the game 2-0. King was distraught after the game, saying he was too disappointed to discuss the final and he just wanted to forget it. Just 48 hours after the final, however, a 2-0 win over Sheffield Wednesday put West Ham on the brink of promotion. They would lose on the final day to challengers Notts County, who would win the league, but they finished ahead of Leicester on goal average, and King had taken West Ham to the top flight for the first ever time. Afterwards, a local paper would proclaim, "Syd King is West Ham, and West Ham is Syd King." The likes of Vic Watson and Jack Tresidderton had impressed so much in the campaign that they were selected for the England national team, something that was extremely rare for second division players. The spine of the team was held together for their next campaign, and they remained in the top flight over the next few years with a series of mid-table finishes. An impressive campaign in the 26-27 season saw them finish in 6th place, with a 7-0 win over Arsenal along the way, and Vic Watson netted 34 goals. West Ham finished a disappointing 17th the next season. Their goal-scoring output was impressive, but it kept being cancelled out by the amount that they were conceding. King continued refusing to make major signings, instead keeping his focus on the development of young players, which, at times, drew criticism, as the supply of youngsters seemed to be drying up. Vic Watson was once again the star in the 29-30 campaign, netting an astonishing 50 goals in 44 games, as the club finished in 7th place. However, the defensive issues continued, with the club conceding 94 goals the next season. And in the 31-32 campaign, the defensive issues truly came to a head, when after conceding 107 goals, West Ham finished bottom and were relegated. During a board meeting in late 1932, Syd King insulted a member of the West Ham board. It was later agreed that King was drunk at the meeting, and he was suspended for 3 months without pay. A further board meeting in early 1933 concluded that King should be sacked once and for all, after allegations that King was stealing money from the club, claims that have never been proven. And so, after 30 years in charge as manager, Syd King was dismissed from Upton Park. King was devastated by the news, and in the end, it proved too much for him to handle. Soon after his sacking, Syd King committed suicide by drinking alcohol mixed with a corrosive liquid. He was 59 years old. Syd King may not have won major silverware at Upton Park, as the likes of Ron Greenwood and John Lyall did, but he is still one of the biggest figures in the history of the Hammers. Without him, the club may never have established their reliance on developing young players, moved into Upton Park, or ever have been a First Division team. The fact that King could not live without West Ham shows just how much the club meant to him, and he deserves so much more recognition for what he did for the Hammers, as without Syd King, the name of West Ham United may well have been lost to the ages.